All right, good evening, everyone. I'd like to call tonight's meeting to order of McLeod County Board of Commissioners tonight on December 5th. Can we please begin our meeting with our Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
First off, we'll have our consideration of agenda items. I believe we have some additions. Administration.
Mr. Chair, I have some additions. You're going to go over them?
Yeah, I
Okay,
can cover them.
thank you.
Okay, so unless you had anything else to add on that, we do have a number of our union contracts, memorandum of agreements to add, and that will be under employee relations following letter H. So that will be our letters I through M. Will there be any further additions after that?
No other changes, Mr. Chair.
Okay, looking for a motion to approve.
Second.
We have a motion by Nagel and a second by Kruger to approve tonight's agenda items. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, we'll proceed to vote. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries. Our consent agenda.
No changes, Mr. Chair.
Second.
We have a motion by Nagel and a second by Luthens to approve tonight's consent agenda. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, we'll proceed to vote. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries. Our next item of business, we have a group of people with us tonight. They're a very outstanding group of volunteers. They work year-round to put on 4 days of fun for McLeod County. Within these 4 days, there are thousands of people that come to McLeod County to attend our McLeod County Fair. And again, this is a year-long process to plan, and that planning pays off by having what I truly believe has got to be the #1 county fair in the Midwest, if not beyond. So we're happy to have them here with us this evening, and Casey Walters, fair manager, will present.
Hi, good evening. My name is Casey Walters. I'm the Executive Secretary and Fair Manager of the McLeod County Agricultural Association, along with a few of my board members with me tonight. We're just here to say thank you, and we appreciate you recognizing the importance of the McLeod County Fair, and that you appreciate the social and economic value that the fair brings to the communities and residents of McLeod County. So here I have a picture of licensed daycares. They're all invited to attend the fair Thursday and Friday mornings. And this year we did new in 2024. We worked with the Veteran Services and a senior expo for Thursday. Our mission, it is the mission of the McLeod County Agricultural Association to provide the people of the McLeod County area with a high-quality, family-friendly, educational, and entertaining fair by showcasing the innovation and history of business, agriculture, and the arts. Since we implemented the no-cost admission at the gate in 2022, our attendance has consistently averaged 50,000 people or more over our 4-day event every August. Previously, we estimated our attendance to be 32,000 with the paid admission. The economic benefit reaches beyond our event gates. All of the attendees utilize our county roads, fuel up vehicles, do business at our various stores and restaurants before, during, and after their time here at the fair. Here's just a little clip of the crowd that you can see any given day. I believe this was Saturday afternoon. Education is one of our top priorities at the fair. There's always something for all ages to learn and do. The increased attendance has helped us be able to support bringing in nationally known educational entertainment, as well as some of our local and state entertainment as well. There are over 4,000 open class entries from various exhibitors of all ages that participate, from flowers, livestock, quilting, fine arts, a whole variety of items. And 4-H has reported that 216 youth showcase learning with livestock and general projects. These pictures are our legacy stage, children's barnyard, the Raptor Center, a historical photo demonstration. The Sheriff's Department did a safety demonstration, livestock shows. We partner with the DNR to put on our fish tanks, and then the Disconnected Canine Show. We have had a steady increase in new vendors interested in traveling to our fair. We have been at capacity with indoor and outdoor food vendors and indoor commercial vendors. We do have many repeat vendors each year that we love to welcome back every year. And we have noticed that they do reach out to their colleagues and encourage them to attend also due to their success. We do have a lot of nonprofit involvement. We ourselves are a nonprofit group. So we're an opportunity for area nonprofits to hold some of their largest fundraising opportunities. Excuse me. 28 nonprofit groups were involved as vendors or assisted with fair operations last year. We contributed just short of $40,000 from the Ag Association to the involved nonprofits as a thank you for their participation and time. Those dollars go back into our community and are used for community projects, grants, or various mission work that they do. One of our main contributions goes to the local 4-H program. This past year, it was $26,691. Based on that 216 participants in the fair, spreading that out averages $124 per 4-H youth that showcase learning at the fair. So the federal ARPA allocations to the fair have been a tremendous part in helping us achieve much of our success. So a lot of that comes to thanks to the free cost admission and recreational opportunity for all ages. We get so many comments each year on how beautiful the fairgrounds is. The restroom facilities, they're not glamorous to talk about restrooms, but that's always a top priority on, on guest experiences. The buildings and cleanliness of the grounds, a lot of them comment and compare to a state fair experience. People travel from all over to attend, and they come for multiple days. Additional improvements that benefit the fair, and clearly all the other events that happen at the fairgrounds, but specifically for the fair, the electrical upgrades throughout the grounds provided adequate and accessible power to all of our vendors. The drainage and road improvements provided smooth surfaces and seamless transitions to walkways. New building, this is going to be a big one for us. So during the fair, the restrooms and the family space will be a fantastic asset. The large multi-purpose space will be used as a small animal show arena during the fair, which will allow for increased livestock participation and stalling in our additional barns. The grandstand lighting improves access, safety, and security for all of those that are in the grandstand infield area, as well as those that park in the overflow parking, the fields just directly to the south. And then the red shed, previously the children's barnyard, was relocated and provided sheltered space for food service and a break from the heat. So with that, I had mentioned that a lot of people have positive comments of their time at the fair and the fairgrounds itself. Even during non-fair events, people will stop in my office just to look around and will comment on how beautiful the facilities are. So this is Lawrence. He's with the Disconnected Canine Show. And I just touched base with him when I was in Phoenix this last week. And he reiterated his support of the fair or his admiration of how beautiful the grounds was. So this is just a short video clip of something he said to a lot of his presentations at the fair.
Board members, and folks, I do this 42 to 46 weeks out of the year. I've been doing it for 37 years. I've been on over 500 fairgrounds in this country, and I want to share something with you. And this is for real. You got in here for free. You didn't have to pay a dime to park. You get to see our show. You got the petting zoo. You got the yo-yo person. You got the magician. All the free music festival people here. All that 4-H stuff. And you know what? If you look around at this fairgrounds, This place is immaculate. It is beautiful. And just to think that it's all free to your community. But you know what's not free, folks? It's the people that work and volunteer to make this fair happen for your community. And I think here on the final day, it's appropriate that we put our hands together and we let these people know what you thought about this year's fair. Come on, let them hear from them.
So we at the fair have, or the Agricultural Association, have the honor to be the caretakers of this 150-plus-year-old tradition of agriculture and community in our county. We look forward to providing the highest quality event we can each year, and the fair would not be possible without our fantastic community, guests, supporters, and roughly 500 volunteers that come together to help us make it happen. We compiled a history book for our 150th anniversary. So we had a previous edition that covered 1872 through the early 90s prior to the new fairgrounds. And thanks to, I'm going to shout out to Mary and Phil, who did a fantastic job compiling a lot of this information. And together we made a very beautiful book, and I brought a copy for each of you guys to have. This covers from our beginning in 1872 through our 150th fair in 2022. In addition, we have a digital ebook on our website for anyone else that's interested in looking at a copy of that. So this here is just a little promo video clip that we put together. That reminds me, we also worked with court administration to offer free weddings at the fair. And we were one of 2 or 3 other counties that did that with great success. So with that, I just want to say thank you for your support of the fairgrounds. That support helps make our event, as well as all the others that happen there, work so seamlessly. It's a beautiful fairgrounds. We appreciate all of those inputs that you put into it. And we want to welcome you to the next fair, August 14th through the 17th, 2025. Are there any questions?
Wow, well, thank you for, yeah, that was awesome. Thanks for coming tonight and showing that, those 2 video clips. The first one made me think, boy, it was so nice and warm back then. But the
It was
second
hot.
one, yeah. But
It was too warm that day.
the guy with the canines that made his talk there, I mean, to talk about our fairgrounds the way that he did, and to admit that, of all the fairgrounds and places he goes to, the things there that are how he used the word immaculate, and he nailed it. He also highlighted something that you can't buy, which is volunteers, and we definitely know the value of those strong volunteers and how important they are, and you create that culture to just keep drawing people in to help pull that off. And we definitely, appreciate that opportunity to work at our fair commission meetings where we can align our building goals so that we're benefiting the fairgrounds during the majority of the year, but then also what does it mean for the county fair? And you mentioned electrical upgrades and the other things. I mean, those are ideas that we bounce back and forth and we build together, and it works because every time we seem to add, more people come. So thank you for your presentation. But other board members, what kind of comments do you have?
Oh, it's nice to see the smiling faces.
The dry Phoenix air kind of made me a little crackly.
That reflects, that we're doing good. No, I think, and you don't let your staff there go without being, even though we know them, let them make sure they get their face on the camera. But no, Casey, you do an excellent job, and it reflects today on your presentations.
Thank you.
Mr. Chair, go
And Casey, congratulations on giving us such a fine presentation this afternoon, and congratulations to all the staffers who helped put the fair on. You, at the end of your presentation, you brought up the wedding thing, and my question is, do you know how many weddings were performed during the McLeod County Fair?
I think it was 12,
Really?
16, 16 weddings.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you, Casey. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Mr. Chair.
Good.
Thank you, Casey. Everybody said it, what needs to be said, but you do have a great group of people. And because I want to pick on them, especially Mark, why don't you guys come up and introduce yourselves and let us know, and then the administration will want a picture with all of us. So,
Yep.
all right? So come on up. Mark, you first.
Hi, Mark Vosik, currently Vice President of the Fair, just got elected there, so I've been on board 29 or 30 years. I take care of the Entertainment Committee, so I keep that activity in the center going pretty good. We have a lot of fun there, but I've got a list of people calling me the day after the fair that want to come and perform there because we have the best venue in the state. And I just got to keep adding more days if we want all them to play. So it's a lot of fun. And we appreciate your guys' support. It's great. When I first came on this board, it was a little challenge. Now I'm talking Ag Association of the county now. We blend together, and it's just a lot of fun. And thank you guys. And Sheila, everybody involved, Andrew, everybody. It's just a blast to work with you guys. It's a lot of fun. We get a lot of compliments, and it's all because of everybody working together. So thanks again.
Thank you.
Hi, I'm Brian Anderson from Lester Prairie. I'm a short timer compared to Mark. I've only been on maybe 6 years and just got recently elected to the executive board. My kids were lifelong 4-Hers, all graduated. It went 10 years, 12 years through the 4-H program. Lori and I were active, and now we're empty nesters, and we're taking another role with being on the board and on the executive board. I'm not in charge of any committees, but I really like to drive the golf cart and shuttle people back and forth. I've had some great experiences, met great people. You hear where they're from. The Free Fair offers an opportunity for seniors to come in and park. And one guy a couple of years ago, just to share you a story, I picked him up and he said, I go, where do you want to go? And he goes, I wanted to go to the malt stand. So I took him to the malt stand, and he was an older gentleman. He couldn't have walked there himself. And he says, you come and get me in an hour. I'm like, okay. And sure enough, I drove back an hour later. He was still sitting on a bench, people watching, enjoying a malt, having something to eat. And it was a great experience, and he appreciated it as much getting in free, and they can do that now. So thank you for your support. Thanks, Brian.
Hi, I'm Kelly Foley. I grew up in McLeod County and was a lifetime 4-H member. I am in charge of coordinating the drivers for the golf carts, and like Brian said, with the free fair, we have people coming every day, and they are so thankful that we are there for them and that we can bring them there. It's just a great opportunity. And then also I'm in charge of, with 2 other ladies, the Fine Arts Building, where the quilts, the photos, and all of those lovely things are. Before the fair even opens, we already have many hours in to bring in those exhibits, and it's just such a blessing to be able to offer that to the community, and it's for us just a dream. So volunteer work. So thank you guys again. Really appreciate it.
I'm Connie Lambert from Hutchinson. I'm the treasurer at the fair, and I just have loved the fair my whole life, and it's very fun to have the opportunity to just sort of sit there sometimes, and everybody comes by, and you see those people maybe once a year, but everybody's happy, and everybody has a good time, and so often now the people are coming every day, which they never used to do. So that's been very advantageous for us, and we have a lot of people there. So it's a great thing. It's a good county event. I think it pulls everybody in from the entire county. We all enjoy it. We're all crazy fair people. So appreciate your support. We've really enjoyed that support, and so thank you.
And I'm Jerry Schimmel-Finning. I'm from Glencoe here, or 2 miles north of Glencoe anyway. And I truly appreciate all you do for the fair. It's just wonderful that we can work so well together and make it a great fair. Thanks so much.
All right, I'm going to give you guys a round of applause. And now, as Commissioner Nagel mentioned, we'll have a photo with you guys. So if you want to come right up here behind us, we'll kind of intermingle together and get ready for that picture.
Gotta watch this one.
Put the pretty boys in the front. Put us in the back.
That's not how it is.
Okay. Right here. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. You guys look great. Awesome. I'll send those out. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Feel free to stick around for the rest of the night.
Thank you guys for looking so good.
Well, thank you guys. I mean, without you guys, it doesn't fly.
Sheila, thank you.
Yeah, right.
Casey, I just want to thank you before you leave for putting up with so many 14 and 15-year-olds. I wish Randy Starkey was here too, but honestly, I already have my son's friends asking me if they can work at the fair next year. And even if they don't get paid, they love it. And Reggie will come home for like an hour, and then he has to get out, he'll shower, look cool, he has to get back and go be at the fair. So you're doing a lot right, and we really appreciate it. And the kids really love it.
Yeah, we have it takes a lot of people, like we said, to put it on. And we've got a lot of young kids running around doing a million things at once. And while it's kind of busy, crazy 3 weeks of the year, I think they all really enjoy it. So thank you.
Excellent. Thanks again. Our next item up on our agenda will be Sheriff Tim McLeod.
Hello.
Good evening.
Item number 1 is considering approving the sale of K9 Kilo to Sergeant Brian Stiles for the cost of $1. Kilo will retire on December 31st, 2024 after 8.5 years of service to the McLeod County Sheriff's Office and the citizens of McLeod County. During that time, he's been a great asset to our office. Kilo traveled from Slovakia to McLeod County, where he met Stiles and his family on December 6th, which, oddly enough, is 9 days tomorrow, of 2015. He immediately began riding with Stiles and the squad to familiarize him in the patrol car and the public, and he's lived with them ever since. In February of 2016, Kilo and Stiles attended 4 weeks of basic obedience and narcotics training, followed by a 10-week working dog training, which included patrolling, tracking, and searching. On June 7th, 2016, Kilo officially became a K9 patrol officer with our office. The plan is we will bring both Kilo and Sergeant Stiles to the December 17th meeting for more official recognition, but we wanted to get this approved prior to that.
Mr. Chair, I move to approve. I'll second.
We have a motion by Nagel and a second by Kruger to consider approving the sale of K9 Kilo to Sergeant Brian Stiles for $1. Is there any further discussion?
I'll hold any remarks until the 17th.
Yeah.
I'm glad to hear that.
Very good. Any further discussion? Seeing none, we'll proceed to vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries.
Is Brian bringing his dollar on the 17th?
We'll get it from him somehow. It'll probably be 4 quarters. Second item is to consider approving the purchase of a 5-year contract with Axon Enterprises of Scottsdale, Arizona, for an Axon Fleet in-squad camera system at a total cost of $271,238.40, with funds coming from the Public Safety Aid Fund. December 5th, 2024, we came to you in the last board workshop to discuss this. This is actually going to be in 5 separate payments over 5 years, and this includes all the equipment and data storage.
Yep.
Mr. Chair?
Yes.
Sorry, I would have spoken with you before the sheriff, but I didn't have a chance. But I just want to make a note because Colleen Robeck and I have been going through the final audit for 2023 recently. And when there are items that are over $50,000 and we don't talk about bidding, that's because of the process. If we already have a contract established with the vendor or items that they're already managing for our county. So there is reasoning there. And I just want to make sure that that's in the board record for when we do need to do that. Starting in 2025, we will give a new process to our department heads and elected officials that if they do have that situation occur, they'll be able to ask for it in the agenda request, and you'll see that in the notes.
And just to hop on top of that, we did receive a second quote from another system for $247,500, but it was decided to go with Axon because that is what we currently have with our body cameras, and it's the same evidence system and stuff, so it's just easier to stick with that.
Yep.
Based on many things, but including the storage of the data, correct?
Correct.
And isn't the price off the state purchase list?
Axon is on the state contract, correct.
Okay. All right, any further questions or actions on the item?
Move to approve.
Is there a second? I can second that. We have a motion by Nagel and a second by Wright to consider approving the purchase of a 5-year contract with Axon Enterprise at the cost of $271,238.40 with funds from the Public Safety Aid budget. Is there any further discussion? Seeing none, we will proceed to vote. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
And the last item is just a quick update. At the last board meeting, Captain Feltman came to you with a joint powers agreement with Hennepin County for housing of some of their inmates due to some issues that they were having. That agreement was not signed on the Hennepin County side. There was a little bit of go back between their board and their sheriff, and since then they've been able to secure enough other beds in other locations that they do not need that with us. So that was not signed on their side.
Mr. Chair?
Yes.
Is that final? I've been following a little bit that on the Twin City News. I thought I know they're looking for beds, but there's no guarantee they're going to find them, are there?
They've got it to where, my understanding is they have it to where the number is that they need to be at for right now. In our conversations with their jail administrator, they did not believe they would need the joint powers agreement to be enacted on their end.
So bottom line, they're not asking for our beds.
Correct. Now, for short-term stuff, if something comes up, we've housed with other agencies, assisted without a JPA. The JPA was just going to be something that allowed us to be more of a permanent solution until they were able to get their staffing issues taken care of.
Okay. All right, thanks for the update on that.
Thank you.
Next up will be Barrett Sports, Health and Human Services Director.
Good evening.
Good evening.
I have 5 items for you tonight. Item A, consider approving the contract renewal for services with Richard Decker for adult mental health clinical supervision for the period of January 1st through December 31st, 2025, at a rate of $177 per hour, not to exceed 60 hours, or $10,700, with funds from the Individual and Family Social Services Budget 11-430. State statute requires clinical supervision and signed care plans for adult mental health case managers in order to provide services and bill medical assistance and managed care plans for the services provided. This is a 1.75% increase to the hourly rate from our current 2024 contract.
Okay, questions, anyone?
Mr. Chair?
Go ahead.
Question, Barrett? So the cap remains in place as far as not to exceed amount that we're showing here?
Correct.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. With that, I'll move approval as requested.
Okay, we have a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
We have a motion by Schmal, second by Luthens to consider the contract with Richard Decker for adult mental health clinical supervision. Any further discussion? Seeing none, we will proceed to vote. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries.
Thank you. Item B, consider approving the contract renewal for services with Ashley Hubble for children's mental health clinical supervision for the period of January 1st, 2025 through December 31st, 2025, at a rate of $153 per hour, not to exceed 60 hours or $9,200, with funds from the Individual and Family Social Services Budget 11-430. State statute again requires clinical supervision and assigned care plans for children's mental health case managers in order to provide services and bill medical assistance in our managed care plans for the services provided. This is a 2% increase to the hourly rate from our current 2024 contract.
Okay, discussion, anyone?
Move request, Mr. Chair.
Is there a second?
I'll second it.
We have a motion by Schmalz and a second by Kruger to approve the contract renewal services with Ashley Hubble for children's mental health clinical supervision. Is there any further discussion? Seeing none, we'll proceed to vote. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries.
Thank you. Item C, consider approving the contract renewal for services with Painted Horse Ranch LLC out of Broughton, Minnesota, to provide court-ordered supervised visitation, travel and court appearances, court testimony for the period of January 1st through December 31st, 2025, at a rate of $50 per hour and with mileage billed at the IRS allowable rate, only when transporting a child, with funds from the Individual and Family Social Services Budget 11-430. This is the same rate as our current 2024 contract.
Okay,
Move to approve.
is there a second?
Second.
We have a motion by Nagel, second by Schmalz, to approve the contract renewal for services with Painted Horse Ranch LLC to provide court-ordered supervised visitation, travel, court, and appearances testimony. Is there any further discussion?
Mr. Chair.
Go ahead.
Happy to be in favor of the motion. We're benefiting a local business in this action, and I'm pleased with that. Thank you.
Okay. Any further discussion? Seeing none, we'll proceed to vote. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries.
Thank you. Item D, consider approving the contract for services with Temp Social Work, Inc., also known as TSW, to provide temporary licensed social workers on an as-needed basis at a rate of $56 to $62 per hour based on their experience and licensure, to be billed on a biweekly basis and with mileage billed at the federal standard mileage rate, with funds from the Individual and Family Social Services Budget 11-430. TSW will provide employees to perform the assigned duties outlined in the contract and in situations where a conflict arises or we're unable to meet the needs of the clients in a timely manner. I do want to, even if this contract is approved, I do want to assure the board that if we were to utilize it to bring on a social worker, that would be something I would bring before the board before we went ahead with that. This contract just allows us to have a conversation and get first priority.
Okay. All right, questions, anyone?
Move to approve.
Okay, we have a motion, is there a second?
Second.
We have a motion by Kruger, second by Nagel to to approve the contract for services with Temp Social Work, Inc. to provide temporary licensed social workers. Is there any further discussion?
Mr. Chair.
Go ahead.
The only question I have, Bear, is to, do you have time? I mean, is there usually not a time that you would need to bring this person on before the next, the meeting or whatever? It's specified as a temp, so I mean, it's...
Yeah, potentially, but that would be something that I could work with Hannah and Sheila on. It could be brought to the personnel committee or something if needed.
Yeah, again, it's already
That-
contracted and it's...
Sure.
And it's a temp, so I have no issues with that, but I was just curious.
Okay, very good. Any further questions?
Mr. Chair?
Go ahead.
And I was just going to ask, Barrett, does this fill a gap that we presently have in serving the people who need this service?
When we Yes, it does. This individual, I can't recall her name right now, she came and spoke to a regional directors meeting and kind of gave us a presentation of what their agency does. Other counties have contracted with them. They are growing. They're in other states. Most of our questions revolved around like child protection workers. You have to have so much training in order to be a child protection worker. There's kind of a workaround with this because they're a temporary employee. We would be able to fill the gap in our need while we continue with that hiring process. So the work would continue to be done. With a licensed social worker, we would have the opportunity to interview them, check their credentials, do all those things, make sure they're a good fit, and help us fill that gap, like I said, until we get a full-time person on.
Thank you, Barrett. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Okay. Any further questions? Seeing none, we'll proceed to vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you. And the last item I have, I just wanted to share with you that I was emailed by Carver County, their director, Heather Goodwin, last Wednesday before, or early last week before Thanksgiving. Got the hard copy letter in the mail this week. They provide our mobile crisis services, and they are no longer going to do that. And so I've been working with Leah Lundgren, who's the supervisor of the department that works with that. We had a meeting this Monday with our DHS partners, what that looks like for us. So we are working through a few things. We're going to contact Woodland Centers to see if they'd be interested. There's other opportunities where we might have to partner with them. It is state statute that the county provides mobile crisis or contracts with someone to provide that. So we've been lucky having Carver for a long time. They say in the letter that they will extend the contract through March 31st of next year. So I will be letting them know tomorrow that that is our plan. So we have coverage until then. If we find something that is going to be, is able to take us on sooner, we can move forward with that. But we just want to assure that we have something for those months anyway.
All right, well, thank you for that update, and I guess you have to keep us in tune how things change in our workshops, perhaps leading up to that if we need to just take some action, so.
Mr. Chair.
Yeah, go ahead.
Question, Barrett, about
Yeah.
the mobile crisis or the crisis team. Are they just reconfiguring what they're doing in their county? Is that kind of what's bringing this on, or what's your take on it?
Yes. They work with Ridgeview out of Waconia for a few things, and it sounds like Ridgeview is kind of changing their model. We haven't heard for sure, but we have heard that Carver is going to be using another entity, that they're going to contract with another entity to provide their mobile crisis too, which might be an option for us as well. It's an outfit called Canvas Health that a lot of the metro counties use to provide mobile crisis.
Thank you, Barrett. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right, next up will be employee relations. Hannah.
Good evening. I have a few items, and some of them are going to be very repetitive, so we'll get through this first one, and then thank you for being flexible with adding these MOAs. But the first item is to consider approving the new and upgraded grade assignments recommended by the Evaluation Committee, and they've been reviewed by the Personnel Committee. These grade assignments are due to updated new job descriptions reviewed in the 2020 budgeting process, which was something we were trying to do per the board's direction, is looking at those types of jobs one time in the year and bringing them to you now as we are setting the 2025 budget. And then these will take effect January 2025. We did talk about these in length at the October 1st, 2024 board workshop as well.
Okay, questions, anyone? Actions? We'll give the motion to Commissioner Nagel. Is there a second?
Second.
We have a motion by Nagel and a second by Kruger to approve the new and updated grade assignments as recommended by the Evaluation Committee and reviewed by Personnel, and we did see this in budget as well. So definitely went through the full gamut of committees to make it here this evening. Is there any further discussion? Seeing none, we'll proceed to vote. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries.
Thank you, appreciate it.
Mr. Chair, one moment. I have a question. I believe the last time that we had to cover the MOAs for the same items, that it was allowed to say which items were going to be read and which ones they were for because they were all the same otherwise. Is that acceptable for this evening?
Direct that one towards the county attorney, Mr. Ott.
All of the items are the exact same wording, but with a different union. Is she allowed to name the letters and then?
As long as the board knows what it's approving, the board can decide whatever procedure it wishes to follow, as long as the board understands clearly what they're approving.
Thank you.
Okay. I'll try to do that then in one motion, if we'll do our best.
That'd be fine, yep, just group
Okay.
them together, so, yep.
Great. So consider approving the memorandums of agreement, the MOAs, for the, I'm sorry, we're going to start with item B, because this is different, and then we'll move on to item C and the rest, excuse me. Item B is consider approving the memorandum of agreement for the employee-sponsored health insurance contribution and health savings account contribution with the McLeod County General Unit of the Minnesota Public Employee Association, or MNPA Union, for the period of January 1, 2025 through December 31st, 2025. Can I actually hold on one moment for a second? I think that the way this was maybe written in this note might be incorrect. Stefan, can I just talk to you for 1 second? Just want to make sure.
Hannah, would you like a few minutes to look at it? We can do our calendars quick. Hannah, would you like a few minutes? We can do calendars, or are you ready?
I think I'm ready. So we have to go through we're going through all of the health savings account one first, excuse me.
Okay.
And then we have our additions as well, with the wages as well. Okay, I apologize. Okay, so we're back. So this will be one large agenda item. Sorry, we're on the same page. These will be for all of the health savings accounts and for our insurance unit. So I apologize. We've had a lot of MOAs, so thank you for being understanding. So for items B through items,
Name them individually, please.
yep. So we're going to consider approving the memorandum of agreement, this is item B, for the employer-sponsored health insurance contribution and health savings account contribution with McLeod County General Unit of MNPA, or Minnesota Public Employee Association. So that's item B for the period of January 1st through 2025 through December 31st. Items C, D. C is the same item, except for this is for the McLeod County Licensed Deputy Unit with MNPA.
Mr. Chair, I know it's maybe long, but we should maybe just take them one at a time. I mean, we're going through them
It's
anyway.
looking that way.
Sorry, there's just
It's
so many
okay,
of them,
Hannah.
yeah.
No, I get it.
Yep.
But I mean, they are individual ones, and you're reading them anyway, so what's,
Okay,
and if I'm wrong, so be it, but.
We'll take the recommendation and just do item B by itself,
Thank you.
standalone then.
Move to approve.
Second.
We have a motion by Nagel and a second by Kruger to approve the memorandum of agreement, employee-sponsored healthcare with the McLeod County General Unit of MNP. Is there any further discussion? Seeing none, we'll proceed to vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
thank you. Item C is considering the same MOA, but this is for the health insurance contribution and the health savings account contribution for the McLeod County Licensed Deputy Unit of MNPA Union for January 1st, 25 through December 31st, 25.
Move to approve?
Is there a second?
Second.
We have a motion by Schmalz and a second by Kruger to consider the memorandum of agreement for the employee-sponsored health insurance contribution with the McLeod County Licensed Deputy Unit of MNP. Is there any further discussion?
Mr. Chair,
Go ahead.
I just want to note that Commissioner Nagel had to leave to take an important call, but that you could proceed.
Yep.
Thank you.
Thank you for that. We'll proceed to vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you. Item D is considering approving the MOA, the same type of MOA for the health insurance and health savings account contribution with the McLeod County Correctional Officer Unit to with the MNPA Union for the period of January 1st, 2025 through December 31st, 2025.
Move to approve.
Is there a second? I can second that. We have a motion by Kruger and a second by Wright to consider approving the memorandum of agreement for the employee-sponsored health insurance, excuse me, contribution and health savings account, goodness sakes, with the McLeod County Communications Unit of MNP. Is there any further discussion? Seeing none, we'll proceed to vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you. Item E is considering approving the MOA for the employer-sponsored health insurance contribution and health savings account contribution with the McLeod County Communications Officer Unit of the Minnesota Public Employee Association, MNPA Union, for the period of January 1st, 2025 through December 31st, 2025.
Second.
We have a motion by Nagel and a second by Schmaltz to consider approving the memorandum of agreement with the employee-sponsored health insurance and health savings account contributions with the McLeod County Communications Officer Unit of MNP. Is there any further discussion? Seeing none, we'll proceed to vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you. Item F is consider approving the MOA for the employer-sponsored health insurance and HSA contributions with the McLeod County Public Works Unit of MNPA Union for the period of January 1st, 2025 through December 31st, 2025.
Move approval.
I'll second it.
We have a motion by Schmaltz and a second by Kruger to consider approving the memorandum of agreement for an employee-sponsored health insurance contribution and health savings account contribution for the McLeod County Public Works Unit of MNP. Is there any further discussion? Seeing none, we'll proceed to vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Item G is consider approving an MOA for the employer-sponsored health insurance contribution and the health savings account contribution with the McLeod County Public Health Unit of the MNA Minnesota Nurses Association for the period of January 1st, 2025 through December 31st, 2025.
Move to approve.
Second.
We have a motion by Kruger and a second by Nagel to consider approving the memorandum of agreement for the employee-sponsored health insurance contribution and health savings account contribution with the McLeod County Public Health Unit of the Minnesota Nurses Association Union. Is there any further discussion? Seeing none, we'll proceed to vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
All right, we're going to switch it up just a little bit here. Item H is consider approving the memorandum of agreement for wage schedule implementation with Law Enforcement Labor Services, or LELS, licensed sergeants, local number 297, for the period of January 1st, 2025 through December 31st, 2025.
Move to approve.
We have a motion by Kruger and a second by Nagel to consider approving the MOA of wage schedule implementation with Law Enforcement Labor Services licensed sergeants, local number 297. Any further discussion? Seeing none, we'll proceed to vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
The next items will be the additions. This
Yep.
should be item I, J, K, L, M, and N, if I am correct.
Yep.
So I'm going to do my best here. So the next one is consider approving the memorandum of agreement for wage schedule implementation with the Law Enforcement Labor Services, LELS, non-licensed sergeants, local number 329 for the period of January 1st, 2025 through December 31st, 2025.
Move to approve.
Second.
We have a motion by Kruger, second by Nagel, to consider approving the MOA with LELS, non-licensed sergeants, local number 329. Is there any further discussion?
Mr. Chair, just that we're moving through these, I know, for the public, but we've covered, discussed these, and Hannah said it when we started, but I just want to remind people it's not like it's a necessary evil and we're getting through them, so.
Very good
Thank you.
point. Any further discussion? Seeing none, we'll proceed to vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Mr. Chair, the next 4 items are all for the same, they're for MNPA groups. We represent 5 different MNPA groups, Is it possible for me to attempt to do all 5 in one?
Let's just keep doing them singular, I guess, just for clarification.
Okay.
because we've kinda gone
It's
that way, so.
safer.
Great.
I agree, Mr. Chair.
Appreciate it. Thank you. Consider approving the MOA for wage schedule implementation for the MNPA General Unit for the period of January 1st, 2025 through December 31st, 2025.
Move to, second.
Well,
trying to save Santa's voice.
Yeah, we have a motion by Nagel and a second by Kruger to consider approving the MOA for wage implementation with Minnesota Licensed Deputy Unit of the Minnesota Public Employees Association. That would be item J. Any further discussion? Seeing none, we'll proceed to vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries.
Thank you. Item K is considering approving the MOA for the wage schedule implementation with MNPIA Communication Officers Unit for the period of January 1st, 2025 through December 31st, 2025.
So move.
Second.
I have a different order here than what you just.
Oh, I apologize. What is your order?
I have, the sheet that I have here is the MOA for the McLeod County Public Works Unit.
Okay.
You had
So that's item K.
on this sheet, yes. So I'll just follow this one, Hannah, if you don't
Yep.
mind.
Yep. Sounds
So
great.
item K will be for the McLeod County Public Works Unit of MNPIA. Looking for motions on that, I think.
Move to approve.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion by Schmalz and a second by Nagel. Any further discussion on that? Seeing none, we'll proceed to vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries. The next item that I have on my sheet is for the MOA of wage schedule implementation for McLeod County General Unit of MNP.
Move to approve.
Is there a second?
Second.
We have a motion by Nagel and a second by Kruger for that action item with the McLeod County General Unit of MNP. Is there any further discussion?
Mr. Chair.
Go ahead.
Just to check now, I don't have the sheet and I'm writing down, but what, didn't we cover, is there more than one general unit?
I think we talked about these are two separate types of MOAs. So earlier we approved the health insurance MOA, and this is a separate MOA.
For the general?
Yes, correct.
Different things,
Yep.
same unit. Okay, just verification, thanks.
Yep. Any further discussion? We'll then proceed to vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries. The next item that I have would be to approve the MOA of wage schedule implementation with McLeod County Correctional Officers Unit.
Move to approve.
Second.
We have a motion by Kruger and a second by
Jump
Nagel
ahead if you want.
to approve the MOA for the Correction Officer Unit. Is there any further discussion? Seeing none, we'll proceed to vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries. Next item, that will be the last on the sheet, will be to approve the memorandum of agreement for wage schedule implementation with the McLeod County Communications Officer Unit of MNP.
Move to approve.
We have a motion by Nagel and a second by Schmalz to approve that contract with the McLeod County Communications Officer Unit of MNP. Is there any further discussion? Seeing none, we'll proceed to vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries. And on the sheet that you have, I just want to read off because we do have some conflicting schedules here, so we make sure that we covered them all. We did approve a motion then for the MOA with the Law Enforcement Labor Services for 329. There was another for the McLeod County Licensed Deputy Unit. Another for the McLeod County Public Works Unit of MNP. Another for the McLeod County General Unit of MNP. Another for the Correction Officer Unit of MNP. And the last will be for the Communications Officer Unit of MNP. We get, Stefan? We're all good?
Yep, that's
Okay,
correct.
very good.
Very good.
We just needed to double check. We had a little
Yep.
bit of different orders for our agenda, that's all. But the important thing is we got it covered.
Yeah.
So thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you to the board and to administrator for adding those today. We appreciate it.
Yep, thank you. Next up will be Public Works. Andrew Engel.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Consider approving two change orders for bid categories 13A and 13B for the Glencoe Area Transportation Services Project to Rice Companies for a total cost reduction of $24,240.42. Change order 1 for category 13A is for the elimination of the textured finish on the exterior wall panels for a cost reduction of $26,540.42. And change order 1 for bid category 13B is for additional labor for enclosing the perimeter of the mezzanine at a cost of $2,300 with funds from the designated for capital assets budget.
Okay. Questions, anyone?
Is that just information?
But we will need to approve that.
Okay. I would move to approve.
Is there a second? I can second that. Before us is change orders. We have a motion by Commissioner Kruger, second by Wright, to consider approving 2 change orders for the bid categories of 13A and 13B for the Glencoe Area Transportation GATS Building Project to Rice Companies. Any further discussion?
Mr. Chair?
Go ahead.
Andrew, in closing full, or is it just a safety, or what did they have for?
Yep. So the building's a steel frame building, and the mezzanine is a CMU block wall. The block walls come to the inside of the steel columns, and so there's a gap between the steel columns and the block walls that we closed up to prevent injuries or things from falling down there.
Okay, so it's fully, it's just
Yep.
a wall. Okay, very good. No, and this is a reduction, so you can't argue with that, so, okay. Dan, thanks for working through this.
Any further questions or comments on the motion? Seeing none, we will proceed to vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you. Next, we'll move into county administration. We will review our calendars. Commissioner Nagel, are you ready?
Yeah, that's fine. I guess really all I'll go over after our last meeting, the workshop, that a lot of items were covered during the meeting, and then a ditch 18 meeting that Mr. Kruger and I attended. I think we got a lot of the misinformation fixed, some more questions that came up. Our SWCD staff gave me an update again tonight. Sounds like we're making progress, which I hesitate to say anymore because I keep saying that we are, we keep going backwards. But more to follow on that. But Doug, thanks for coming to that meeting with me. It was helpful.
That's good. Okay. After our last board meeting, we did complete our workshop. Budget committee did meet to start looking at some of those end of the year issues that we need to tighten up the books. That evening, our McLeod County Extension Committee met. We had reviews of our extension agent, or actually all 4 of them. We also had to say goodbye to 2 of our committee members that had filled out all their term limit maxes. So Karen Thalman and Jeremy Mose had completed their cycles of numerous years on the steering committee. So they were given a plaque and a gift for their appreciation. We did have 1 new member attend that will be officially joining when we roll over into the new year, and that will be James Melius. After that, later on in the week, we did have Fairgrounds Commission meeting. Our new building is getting very close, finally, and we're looking at late January as a potential date to have our official ribbon cutting, and we do have members of the public that are ready to have events in there. So long awaited, let's get the doors open and let's start using that thing. And then we did end out the week with an additional budget committee, and then it brought us here. Mr. Kruger.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Joe covered one of our My Ditch meetings that day, and I went into another meeting that day with JD 8 and 18, and it had a lot to do with a housing development and trying to figure out some plans, and it's more to come on that as well. They're going to try to figure out some ways to solve some issues there. And of course, the budget committee meeting, I had an HRA meeting on the 27th. We had a continuation of JD1 hearing in Carver. And then I had a Mid-Minnesota meeting last night and a Trailblazer today, and it's basically, long story short, it's budgets. It was finalizing some budgets and wages for 2025.
Thank you, Commissioner Kruger, for your report. For myself, on November 19th, board workshop after our county board meeting, and then that afternoon I had a well-being committee meeting, which I participated by Zoom. On Thursday, the 21st, UCAP, United Community Action Group, Joint Powers Board meeting. I attended in Redwood Falls for that meeting. And then it gets me to this week, Monday, along with Commissioner Kruger. I as well attended a JD1 meeting. It was a continuation of a hearing, and I'll report that the findings that the viewers brought forth were basically no very minute changes. There was one parcel change in Carver County that was looked at, and there was also a review of the Crane Creek area in Winston Township that was reviewed, and upon those findings, we accepted the recommendation of the viewers on that ditch system. And this morning, I started off with an AMC platform review meeting held by Zoom. It kind of reinforces our platform and our priorities that are going to be discussed at our annual meeting next week. And then at noon, Prime West held a Joint Powers Board meeting. I attended that by Zoom. And one of the highlights of that meeting, if you want to call it a highlight, is they honored 5 commissioners who are retiring and will no longer be serving. And among those commissioners was our own Commissioner Luthens, and we thank him for his service on the Prime West Joint Powers Board. That's my report, Mr. Chair.
Okay. Mr. Luthens?
Thank you. The only thing I had was the Prime West today.
Okay, all right,
Thank
thanks. Attorney's Office, anything to add?
No, thank you, Mr. Chair.
Okay, thank you. Back to administration.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Item A, notification of McLeod Drainage Authority final acceptance hearing to review the engineer's reports of contract completion pursuant to Minnesota Statute 103E555, showing that the contracts to construct the repairs of McLeod County ditches 13 and 29 are complete, and recommending payment of additional damages, if any, in the Martin McLeod Boardroom, McLeod County Government Center, here at 520 Chandler Avenue North, Glencoe, Minnesota, on Tuesday, December 17, 2024 at 9:30 a.m. Item B, notification of board workshop following the county board meeting on Tuesday, December 17, 2024, again here at the McLeod County Government Center, 520 Chandler Avenue North, Glencoe, Minnesota. Thank you.
Okay, that brings us to the end of our agenda. Excuse me. Is there any open forum or press relations to come before the board tonight? Seeing none, we will entertain a motion to recess.
Move recess, Mr. Chair.
Is there a second?
Second.
We have a motion by Schmaltz and a second by Nagel to recess until our next county board meeting, 9 a.m., Tuesday, December 17th at the McLeod County Government Center. Any further discussion? Seeing none, we'll proceed to vote. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.